Alright, so greetings everyone, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, I will be reviewing the national debate on social issues. So if you are not aware, we are currently in election mode in Jamaica. The national elections will be held on September 3rd. So for the election, there will be three national debates. The first one, which is on social issues, right? Then on Thursday, we will have one on finance. And then on Saturday, we will have the two leaders of the political parties debating each other on all the issues. Alright, so for tonight's debate on Team JLP, we had Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, who is also the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade, I think. Then we have Floyd Green, who is a Member of Parliament somewhere in St. Elizabeth. Then we have Dr. Christopher Tufton, who is the Minister of Health. Right, then for Team PNP, we had Dr. Dayton Campbell, who is a Member of Parliament in St. Anne. Then we have Lisa Anna, another Member of Parliament in St. Anne as well. And then we have Raymond Price, which is a candidate in St. Catherine. I think it's East Central St. Catherine. Is going up against the incumbent Alando Terrelang. Right, so for tonight on the issues, the moderator was General Precious. One of the person asking the question was Vashan Brown. I mean, Vashan was really good in asking the questions, and he was very pointed in getting his responses, because if a person or a team didn't answer his question properly, he would come with a follow-up and say, this is the question, and the look on his face would say that you did not answer the question, and I like that about him. There was another lady, it's no shade, but I don't remember her name right now. So for the opening, Lisa Anna opened for Team PNP and Dr. Christopher Tufton opened for Team JLP. The issue that I'm having with Dr. Tufton, and when I heard that the debate teams being announced, I was so happy and pumped that Dr. Tufton would be on it. I really like Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, because not only is she beautiful, but she's bright as well. Right, I really had let me not say I really had let me say that I had high hopes for Floyd Green, because he's young and he's with the in crowd, and he's also a brilliant young man, right? The JLP team originally had Mr. Terrelang, but he pulled out. But after listening to Terrelang on Emily Shields on Hotline with Raymond Price, I know I at that moment I saw why they pulled Terrelang from the debate team, even though they said that had nothing to do with pulling Terrelang, because he's in a battleground. They had to pull him to work in his constituency. But after listening debating against Raymond Price, he did such a poor job, I'd pull him from my debate team as well. The PNP originally had Dr. Dayton Campbell, Peter Bunting and Crystal Tomlinson. I was pumped and fired up and ready to hear Crystal Tomlinson, because as a debate coach for my school, every time, not every time, but a lot of times when we go to matches, the judges would speak of Crystal and how good she was back in her college years, or good of a debater she was. So I was ready to hear her tonight. You know, sometimes they can pump up somebody, but when they reach on a big stage, them tend to choke and say foolishness and underperform. So I was ready to hear her and see if she was as good as persons were saying. I was ready for Peter Bunting, because he called himself the performance boss. So I was really ready to hear him. You understand? I was not so impressed with Dr. Dayton Campbell, because listening to Dr. Dayton Campbell over the years, he tends to go off on a tangent. Sometimes he throw some jobs and then them outright kind of disrespectful and uncalled for. So I was not too happy with him on Team PNP. However, I understood why they placed Dr. Dayton Campbell on the team, because being smart as a debater and as a debate coach, or a person responsible for a debate team, you have to read the room. We know that in this debate, COVID-19 or the coronavirus was going to factor a whole lot in this debate. So you have to have somebody with some sort of medical experience on the team. So Dr. Christopher Tufton, being the Minister of Health, that was a given that he had to be on the team. Dr. Dayton Campbell, right, a doctor, and is prominent, even though I think it is Dr. Maurice Guy who is a spokesperson on health. But I think Dr. Dayton Campbell has been more vocal than Dr. Maurice Guy, so I understand his inclusion on the team. But really, I was not happy because him more tend to run and him go off on one tangent and hit below the belt, no pun intended. Right, with Dr. Dayton Campbell. Then now, Crystal and Bunting, they got exposed to persons who were also exposed to COVID-19. So Bunting, had to be removed from the team. Crystal Tomlinson also had to be removed from the team. I was disappointed with that. But when I heard that Lisa Anna and Raymond Price were the replacements, I was kind of happy because Lisa Anna, she did well in the debate. I think it was in 2011, right? And I know that she's a spokesperson for the party, and I know that not only is she beautiful, she's brilliant, she's articulate, and I think she went to Carrimack as well, so she can talk and she can do her thing. Remember, she won the Miss World pageant, right? So she good and she know her stuff and them little way there. You understand? So for tonight, the PNP Open, Lisa Anna was brilliant. She touched on education. She touched on a lot of things. Look here, me biased towards education. So anytime people put plans forward about education and they are workable, I always get excited. So I'm kind of biased towards education. And she was out swinging, assertive man and eloquent, and she spoke facts. It is a couple of minutes. Persons are complaining that not a lot of substance, but it's kind of difficult to put in a lot of substance in the debate, and I'm going to touch on that a little bit down in my analysis. It's kind of difficult to put in a lot of substance because of the time, and we see this even in the national schools debate. I realize this. You have to get the punchline quick and fast because of time constraints, right? Dr. Christopher Tufton, he gave the opening for the JLP, and I realized from yesterday that Dr. Tufton seems as if that he's very tired. I don't know what the issue is, but I have my own assumptions, but I'm not going to put it out to John public right here. But Dr. Tufton seemed very tired, and it's like him frustrated. You know, when you just can't bother, you can't go to work and you think you do your best and it's not working. We see that we're having a COVID spike, right? Dr. Tufton is either frustrated with the cabinet, I'm never put it out there, but give you a piece. It's either I'm frustrated with the cabinet, or I'm just tired of the Jamaican people who are being reckless. One of the two, in my estimation. Good. So he came with some substance, but he was not as strong and engaging and connecting as Lisa. So I would give the PNP that first round set of points for the opening statement. For me, really, Dr. Dayton Campbell was needed. Why I said this? Yeah, he spoke some good points again as well. He spoke some good points about the management of COVID, but all of that was lost when he made this snide comment about mental health. I think in his mind he thought it would have been a joke, but mental health is not something that you should joke about, especially in Jamaica, where we always make these nasty and distasteful jokes about mental illness. For me, he spoke solidly about COVID, right? But because he made the mental health joke, Lord Jesus, he lost all his points, almost all his points. For me, right there, you see me, oh God, you can't do that. You can't make joke about mental health. Mental health is a serious issue, and we don't take it serious in Jamaica. Some don't know how he made that mistake there. It's like Lisa just want to drape him and say, my youth, what you do? I don't know how he made that error, and being a doctor too. Dr. Dayton Campbell, it don't look good. If you're a doctor and you're going to make that joke about mental illness, no man, you need to issue an apology fast before this thing die down. I see a lot of persons dragging him on social media for the Jody and Ferran comment. I personally, I didn't have a problem with the Jody and Ferran comment because I understood what he was trying to bring across. That look here, the JLP was busy campaigning in March. That time should have been used to put protocols in place at the hospital so that if anybody coming in looking like them have COVID, they wouldn't be turned away, especially a pregnant lady who eventually died because of complications. You understand? So I understand. I never had a problem with that, but a lot of persons are having a problem with that. It's the mental illness I have a problem with, because a lot of persons are suffering from mental illness and them afraid for come out and talk because people can make joke. People I would say you're mad, like you know no sense, but your brain there, you that get a you know them look at something there and it don't sound good, it not look good. So I didn't like that. So Dayton, you were not needed. Them should have sub you. Yeah, call for a substitution. A red card me give. That didn't have nothing red can lift up right now. It's a red card me give Dr. Campbell. That was totally uncalled for, unnecessary. It was distasteful. 0 points for that. For also continuing on Team PNP, I saw where there was a good balance in each person taking charge at intervals. I saw that they were them well rehearsed and them plan out them thing and say who are gonna say what, who's going to answer what question if this question is posed, who's going to do what rebuttal. We saw Raymond Price sharp as usual, using in big words and put in him like a job, especially the one that he threw at Dr. Christopher Tufton about marketing. You could have seen Dr. Tufton face, you know, like him and say, hey boy, watch me here after this. But being the gentleman that he is, I know that Dr. Tufton had to hold his composure. But I think after the debate, he might just go up in a Raymond Price face and say, hey boy, you see the next time you try that, you get what I say? I'm not advocating for violence, you know. I'm just saying, you know, so Raymond was sharp, and people are saying, oh, him sassy, him this and him that. In a debate, that is usually needed. You have to have style in a debate, because in Jamaica, as I was saying with my colleague, with one of my colleagues, I say, look here, the Jamaican people, them want style and sass. People are say, oh, them never talk about substance and this and that. Other persons not gonna remember no substance from this. Them are gonna remember the marketing joke that Raymond Price made. Right? So for Team JLP now, as I said, Dr. Christopher Tufton was tired and I was zoning out each time he was talking. Right? Kamina now, I expected so much from her, but I was underwhelmed by her. Maybe because I always listen to her in the Senate and debate, and she's just so poised and calm. I like debaters who are like that, who are calm and poised and put forward facts. But I don't think Kamina has had too many experiences as a debater. I mean, I think she's ready as a debater, but she's a beautiful speaker, and a lot of what she's saying actually makes sense, but her style and delivery is poor, because many times the time run out before she actually made her point, but she came with some facts. But I was kind of disappointed there. With Floyd Green now, I was overwhelmed by him. The man come with him numbers, him having facts, but I think he was underused. Me think the JLP overused Kamina Johnson Smith, underused Floyd Green. That's a tough time, could have stayed. But I mean, Floyd Green should have taken on the position that Kamina Johnson Smith had at the forefront and say, yes, I am represented. Because every time he spoke, not every time, but most times he spoke, I was impressed. Him throw little jobs in about him attack facts, and he was presenting the plans of the JLP, what they did and what they hope to achieve, and he was actively rebutting the PNP. You understand? Kamina Johnson Smith threw some jobs to, you know, when she said the PNP is like the pipeline government. You understand? Them put things on paper, but them not put it in an actual reality. You know, persons are going to remember that. So when people talk about, oh, substance, people are going to remember excitement for years to come. People are going to remember all of them little excitement there. You understand? But scoring from a debater's point of view, I am thinking that it's mainly a draw. First of all, I was giving the edge to the PNP, but when I actually get down to scoring each individual debater, I ended up with a draw. But I scored as fairly as I possibly could, right? And me give me reasons about each debater so you can understand my scoring. So my best speaker is going to be Lisa, because she had a balance of jabs, not jobs, but jabs, and also substance. Because even Lisa Anna was very relatable, and I like that about her. She put forward her point and she made it relatable. Like she said, boy, if some people, if they want to send them children to university, they have to raise a cow for send them pick me, and she understand the difficulties, and she pointed out that day Campbell went to school because of certain scholarship, and she sold the PNP points about rent to own, SLB, and needing a guarantor, and even though she had to her jobs, and I said, Camina Johnson Smith not understand the issues because she ever in a plane. You understand? So it was a good balance for me for Lisa Anna, so that's why I give her best speaker, and I'm scoring each speaker out of 10. I gave her an 8 out of 10. Alright, so second place is a tie for me between Price and Floyd. Price had a lot of jabs, a little substance, or some substance, but the jabs, a lot of jabs. He might hit them with the hook, but I wanted a bit more substance for him. And I also like how he sold himself in terms of his constituency that he is trying to represent. He kept on mentioning communities from out of East Central St. Catherine. So I guess if his viewers are watching, them can say, oh yeah, I'm a potential MP, I big up my place, so I might be able to vote for him. You get what I'm saying? And Floyd Green, the few times, I think Floyd Green answered about 4 or 5 times. And most of the times when he was on the floor, he was making sense and his points were solid. So I gave him a 7 as well. But if he had spoken more, Floyd Green would have gotten the best speaker under my watch, or based on my scoring. But because them not use him as much as they could, I gave him on Price 7-7 each. I gave Camina Johnson Smith a 6. She had the point, she dropped a few bombs, but too slow, and sometimes it's like she didn't understand what she was saying, or she was going off on a tangent and she kind of slow. Sometimes you get lost in what she was saying, and you could see, I'm assuming that maybe she was nervous, or as I said earlier, it's like the debate thing not cut out for her and she's not a debater. You get what I mean? I said that me never like with Camina Johnson Smith, so I gave her a 6. Dr. Tufton, tired. Dr. Tufton, even though COVID is spiking, no, the Bro Goddard, the most honorable Andrew Holness, Dr. Tufton need a break. If I even for 3 days where him just rest off and regroup and come again. He needs a break. He is tired and he's running on E. I'm appealing to Dr. Tufton and I'm appealing on his behalf. The man tired. So he got a 5. Dr. Tufton is tired. Dr. Dayton Campbell now, I gave him a 3. I really wanted to give him a 0, but because he made some good points, but the mental illness something drag him down, man, to 3. So overall, both teams would have scored 18-18 based on the scores that I gave them. So it ended up with a tie because of 18-18. Right? If you're of differing views, you want to say who was your best speaker, who was the better debate team, you can drop them in the comments below. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.